Hi all, this is Shri. Let me walk you through AuraFlowAI solution. This is a GenAI native intelligent business process management and business rules engine solution. This will help with transforming government processes from static documents to measurable reality, starting from creating them to all the way to feedback improvement cycle. The solution will help discover the process from policy documents, then create a definition and deploy to runtime. Every decision is traced to source text. We have various modules. We have various modules in the solution that helps with each of these key areas. Let's start with the discovery. We can read existing policy documents and help create business processes from it. Once a human review it, we can test, deploy directly. For straightforward processes, we can fully automate from define, create, and run them automatically. We can monitor these in real time and find any opportunities to optimize them directly from this solution itself. The heart of the solution is the rules engine. That is where the rules that we created gets executed and also provides clear explanation of every outcome. All right. All of this is done using various AWS services. Most of them are serverless that can scale to zero when there is no usage. Let's start with the top. Experience layer, the main UI deployed on CloudFront and S3 using Cognito as a main security layer. The API layer, which is where the API gateway comes into picture, API gateway using Cognito Authorizer will help with API endpoints and talking to the logic layer and data layer. Next comes the logic layer, where the actual core engine resides. This is stateless 2 hosted on Lambda. The next layer would be the data layer. This will be the DynamoDB services for saving the entire process flow as well as rules as part of the central repository. Tasks and instances related metadata will be stored here as well. Next comes the execution. It's a step function based solution, obviously, which uses the Lambda behind the scenes. And also, this is where the human in the loop comes into the picture for all the pauses within the process for approval, so on and so forth. The last is the AI layer. We'll be using Bedrock Nova plus guardrails. This is the key in discovery, mining, and agentic draft. Okay, without further ado, let's go into the solution. Let me walk you through the solution end to end first, then we can go into the use case that can help with both creating new process from ground up all the way to execute. Okay, let's start with the dashboard. This is your landing page. You'll see all the highlights, the repositories, the numbers around each of these components. This is very useful for you to know an executive level details on the whole system. Let's go to the discover. This is where you paste your existing policies, SOPs, or other procedures that can help you with drafting a process. As you can see, you can use a sample process here, or you can upload it and then actually discover your business rules based out of it. Now you can see the AI work behind the scenes and actually captured multi-step process from an example here. Uh, it also captured your flow, S1 to S2, S2 to S4, and the conditions, so on and so forth. This is very useful for you to actually go from like a existing policy all the way to create a process and execute it on the. You can save into drafts. This can be used directly within your process management, defining the process and actually run it on the runtime as well. Next is Studio Chat. We'll go in depth into it in a minute when we actually pick a real use case. But this is where you chat with the agent and you come up with a definition. And the definition, think of it as a reusable code or a process that can be executed across your runtime. Repository is where your definitions all reside. Think of it like the central version controlled place where all your definitions, all your logic resides. Whether it's deployed or drafted, you can see the status here. And obviously you can see the version control, so you can go back to the previous version with few clicks. Templates are reusable code. You can use them across your processes so that you don't have to rewrite them again and again. Runtime is very smart. This is where your actual logic runs. We'll go in depth into the runtime when we have the example. For now, you can see this is where the instances, the tasks inbox, and the actual runtime, which deployed here, can be found. Next is the monitor. This section will monitor the entire instance stack, including the completion, failure, so on and so forth. You can also see the average cycle time and open tasks. And you should be able to see which step in the whole process is taking time here. The senior step, which is the adjudicator step, which is manual at this time, which is obviously taking more time for approvals. Where you can see all these bottlenecks and complete a review of your process and actually refine it if you like. Next is Insight. This is a very advanced feature where it learns your events, the runtime log, and the whole process and process infrastructure, and actually generates some insights. This will help you drill down and find inefficient processes across your whole system and actually try and understand um, which process can be improved by actually tweaking or anything in the process by itself. Next is the cost module, which is where you can see the cost end to end. This includes the cost by operations and the cost per run, so on and so forth. And finally, you can see the input output tokens as well. By changing the model, you can actually go more efficient, or if you want an advanced model, you can change in the config and you'll see higher costs for it. Next is the guides, which is where you can see the documentation around how to use each of these feature. Very useful for people who are starting with the whole tool. User management is standard RBAC controlled place where an admin can provision more and more or invite more people. And Cognito is the service behind the scenes that does take care of all the logistics. All right, this is the overall view of the AuraFlow Studio. Now we're going to take an example and actually we go through the entire process. How do we define from the studio chart all the way to defining it, executing it, and actually monitoring it. All right, let's take a business process and a business rule. This particular example here is common in claims and insurance industry. Let's assume the application is complete. Uh, you have something true or false. If a fatality exists, then you would want to send it to a senior adjudicator into a task queue. If there are lost days for work, you want to send it to a adjudicator as well. If the estimated cost is less than probably like 1500 for the claim, you would want to approve it. For a simple use case, if there's no fatality and if it's a complete application and there are no lost days, if someone claims for 800, you don't want to really go through the entire process. You can build a automated flow that can actually look at the items and actually approve it. So that is a common flow we can create and we can actually save some time. That way you can save all these bottlenecks, right? Uh, you don't want to review each and everything, have the process drive and approve it. If conditions are met, let's say serious back injury and the claim is 50,000, you'd want to have your senior adjudicator review it. If the application is incomplete, you don't want to waste your people time. You can just send it back. So let's create a process and a rule that will define this and actually try and execute it in real time. All right, as a simple step, let's write down the rules on a spreadsheet or a simple notepad. So as I said, we're going to create a rule and a process, right? Which we can feed into the entire system and then have the system approve it or send it to your human in the loop or actually send it back. Let's create a business rule first. It's a decision table, right? It's not a process, it's just a decision. Let's call it as claim triage. And the inputs could be these, and out could be just a route, right? When complete equal to false, then just route to request info. When fatality equal to true, um, route it to senior educator. When estimated cost is greater than 30,000, route it to again senior adjudicator, right? When there's no loss of work, and then estimated cost is less than 1500, just go ahead and auto approve it, right? So this is just a business rule, a decision tree. Let's call it as a claims triage business rule. And actually this we wrote it in plain English, and we actually feed it to our AuraFlow, and you will see some flows created in action. Let's review the next one too before we go into the platform. The next one is also part of the same example. We call it as claim adjudication, and then it reuses existing claim triage as a business rule, right? As you can see, we are just asking in plain English, let's reuse it, and let's use it, the business decision table for our adjudication, right? And we just wrote route equal to auto allow, and senior adjudicator, and then so on and so forth. It's just written in plain English. This is the actual process, and then this one is the rule. Let's actually feed these two into our system and see how things go. All right, let's go to the platform and let's work on this example. Let's go to the studio chat, delete the pre-fill one, and add the one that we just created in Notepad. It's the same one that we discussed. It's just a business rule written in plain English in step-by-step points. So let's see if we can have the system draft a rule for us. As you can see, it drafted a rule as we asked for in JSON, and it's all in here. Let's go ahead and save this definition. When we save the definition, it goes into the repository as a validated definition in our repository. As you can see in the repository, the claims triage is now exist with V1 version and validated. Not deployed yet. Just keep that as a note. Let's go ahead and actually add the other process as well. All right, in the same way, I copy pasted the process, and it's reusing the existing rule, and you can see all the things that we had discussed in the notepad right here. And you can click the same draft with AI. It will generate a JSON. As you can see, it's now calling it as claims adjudication. Now you can see that exists here, and it depends on the claims triage process as well. Let's go ahead and save this as well. Let's see how things go from here. Right, let's go into the repository and let's see these two items that are recently added, the rule and the process. Let's look at the rule one more time. It's just a rule. Again, you can see the entire JSON here, and actually you can evaluate if you want here, and then which pretty much provides a way to test it, and the process as well. Process, obviously you can see some additional details, the process model, you can see a visual graph of what the process is looking like, and actually you can simulate the facts and run simulations as well. So right now we know this is going to work because it's validated. Let's go ahead and deploy one at a time. Obviously you can test it too, so that you feel comfortable with the process and the rule as well. Let's go ahead and approve it, and you'll see it's approved, and deploy it, and you can see it's changed to deploy. Now, as you can guess, it's now deployed into the runtime. We will see that in a minute. And now let's go to the process that we created, the claims adjudication. And now actually, since we reviewed it, let's go ahead and approve it. Once it's approved, the same drill, we'll need to deploy it so that our runtime can use it. Now we have two items created in our repository. One is a rule, the other one is a process. Both are interdependent to make a use case successful. Let's now test it in real time. All right, let's go to the runtime now and actually see the deployed code. Now you can see the claim adjudication is deployed, and you can actually test it in real time to see if it's working or not. The instances here, since it's a serverless, as soon as you send a request, it spawns up the instance and it actually processes it and sends the response back. If there is a human in the loop involved, and you can see in that case a task in your inbox. Let's see that in action. All right, let's see if we can send a request to this instance. So here you can see complete equal to true, fatality false, and then a lost work days equal to 0, and estimated cost is 800. So we know this is a straightforward process. We don't need anyone to review it. It's automatically completed. The response will allow all these flags, and it's all recorded in our database, and the process completed without anyone actually reviewing it. Let's do one more. In this case, let's actually have the other use case where we are asking for $50,000 and there are lost work days, right? Now let's test and see what the system is going to return. Now, as you can guess, the system did not approve it. It's sent to a wait queue. In your inbox, now you see a unassigned item. It's assigned to your senior adjudicator as well because of all the conditions are met. Now the senior adjudicator will come in. His RBAC will only show his tasks inbox. Now he actually reviews it and he completes. If he likes or dislikes it, he just completes the process and he flags it. Let's look at the another use case. Let's try this fatality equal to true, and then even though the cost is 200, since fatality equal to true, we ideally want this to be sent to the senior adjudicator. As you can see, it got flagged as well. The step senior got flagged, and now it's in the queue for senior adjudicator to actually process it. So the overall flow is when you define this process and the rules, it will allow you to go end to end without any gate if it meets all the successful criteria. If it doesn't, it needs someone to review it. It goes into the queue. That's pretty much the simple use case that we demonstrated here. Let's look at one more section. Now that we ran these two instances, we actually can monitor what's really going on with the system. Let's go into the monitor. You can see here two of the processes are done, one is waiting. Haven't actually completed the other process, so it's still in the wait queue. Now you can actually see all of this, right? 67% completed, two completed, one waiting, and you can have open tasks listed here as well. So as you can see, the decision activities are counted as well between senior adjudicator versus auto allow. As you can see, other important details around timing, bottlenecks, step time, the wait time, all of these are captured here. You can also go look at the cost, and you can actually look at the number of tokens that actually took for us to complete all of this. With that said, this is pretty much an end-to-end demo of our Flow Studio. Thanks for listening. Take care.